All right, so YouTube kicked up. We're just going to go ahead
Make sure
and...
you want to make sure it's the right direction.
You're going to get picky now.
I'm not.
Richard's pretty. We'll put him in the center.
See,
God.
I told you. Look, all you had to do was look.
You think I'm pretty?
Oh, so sweet.
My beard envy today is just so
No
out
one
there.
said a damn word. I have had this big, thick, nasty beard for like 2 months. No one said a damn word.
I know why you cut it, though, because I've been making you walk in the morning and it's sweaty.
Shut up. That's only part of it. It started
not
getting
wrong.
really itchy. Yeah, it was
Beards
way too
are
heavy.
itchy.
Way too heavy in the
Beards
morning.
are itchy. And one day when I can grow one, I'll know that.
Are you going to drop these on the same day, or one? Are you going to stagger them?
Well, honestly, whatever you want.
Usually,
Especially the
Monday,
Cult of Dracula thing.
Monday evening, Tuesday morning, Heather, whenever Heather.
Yeah.
Normally it's Monday at 10 o'clock, and we'll just go...
Let me know, because I'll give it to Peter, and he'll blow it out onto all of. And he's really been good about getting that stuff out there, so he'll blow it out on.
I'll have Heather send you a copy.
Yeah, that'd be great. Then I can send it straight to Peter too. He's good.
Once
dude,
he's
man,
done with
really
encoding.
good. This
All
company is really cool.
All my encoding stuff. All right, let's kick off the podcast. Hey guys, I'm David.
And I'm Garin.
And we are joined today by Richard Davis of Nirvana Comics. And we're going to talk about something really industry interesting.
Yeah, so
Diamond got fired.
yeah, we started talking about this back in March when Diamond unilaterally shut down all comic book distribution.
No comics for you.
And it was a unilateral decision. It wasn't discussed amongst the carriers, and immediately, I mean, online the knives are out. And before that, even we had started to hear rumors about DC being really unhappy.
Well, and most importantly, let's talk to Richard real quick.
Yeah.
What did Diamond's announcement of you're not getting comics until this is over do
And
to
let's
you?
clarify a little bit about what Diamond said, or what was said by DC to Diamond. Let's clarify that just a little bit.
At which stage are we talking? Are we talking
The
the
very
beginning?
the very last stage, what just happened.
Essentially, DC has decided, they've made a business decision that they are going to go with their own distributor or distributors, UCS and Lunar.
Yeah.
And they are they're no longer going to be allowing Diamond Comics to solicit or distribute their intellectual properties.
Do you know what the final date that we'll actually get DC
June
Comics?
15th.
June 15th.
June 15th. That's the
it's
last date for DC Comics
coming from Diamond.
coming from Diamond.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that that I think was a bit abrupt for DC, but to DC's credit, they have been communicating with retailers for a while now through DC's direct channel, and some comic book store owners haven't been paying attention to that or have lived in their own worlds and just ignored it. But DC's been subtly telling us for a while that they were going to split from Diamond. I mean, for the first time ever since owning a comic book store, I have a rep from DC Comics who contacts me to talk to me about what's going on. And that was when my spidey sense went off the first time, and I knew something big was brewing. This was right in February, so it's even before COVID hit. I think COVID was the excuse, but I think that DC had probably been working on this for a while. Diamond has had a monopoly on comic book distribution for 25, 30 years. And Diamond does a lot of things very, very well. And during COVID, I am very grateful to Diamond as a shop owner for the way they have handled things and the way that they have worked with us. Diamond did, I've heard other shop owners say that Diamond didn't communicate with them. That's not true. You just weren't paying attention. You didn't read the emails. You didn't pick up the phone when they called. And you didn't listen to what they were saying. They were telling, so Diamond has a lot of flaws. I'll be the first to say it. I think sometimes they're a distribution warehouse, and I've actually told them this. I think sometimes their distribution warehouse is staffed by the squirrels in Willy Wonka, and they're just tossing things into various boxes because our shipments every year that I've owned a comic book store, and I've owned one for a long time. But every week there have been problems with shipments, and
It is rare for us because I receive on Tuesdays. It's rare to have no damages and everything there, nothing missing. One time we got a box of gloves
Yep.
in a shipping box. One time we got highlighters and rolls of paper towels.
right.
Yeah.
So it's our shipments have been sent to other stores. They've been sent to other states. We have lost entire runs of books. Venom number 3.
Number 3.
Sorry, Diamond, I'm never going to let this one go. I ordered 200 copies of Venom number 3 when it came out.
We
I
did
got
get the variants.
I got 0.
We got the variants.
We eventually got the variant. A
Yep.
couple of them,
Yep.
not many.
We had the 1 in 50s came, and that was it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that was a big deal.
That was
that
really
was a
huge
major loss.
It
And
was-
it couldn't be replaced.
No,
There's
because they were
very
gone. They're all
Yeah.
sold out.
They were
And
sold out, so.
we found out later that those books were shipped to another store, and that other store claimed they didn't receive them, and Diamond never bothered to follow up with it, to my knowledge, and so we never got Venom number 3. Some other store got a windfall. Whatever, good for you, dude.
Well, and you could lose subscribers over that. I mean,
And-
they're going to not blame Diamond. They're going
They're
to
going to blame you, especially when it happens every single week. Now, we at Nirvana, we're a bit of a unique case when it comes to things like that. A lot of shop owners are non-aggressive, non-confrontational. There's a certain type of person that generally gravitates toward opening a comic book store, and they're generally not the big gregarious social people, and so they're generally conflict averse. I am not one of those people.
Right.
And Diamond got notice of that the very first time when they signed me up for my first account and told me that that I had to do business with Diamond, but Diamond didn't have to do business with me. That lit a fire in me, and I got on the phone with the vice president of sales from Marvel Comics, and I got him to do a conference call to straighten that matter out with Diamond, and we got our account set up. So when the Venom thing happened, I kind of lost my mind on him again. I got people that I know involved, and Marvel, as an apology, sent me an extremely rare Amazing Spider-Man #1 variant cover, and as an apology. So, but we never got our Venom 3s. So I kind of got off track there, but Diamond had some issues, but Diamond also does some very, very good things.
Sure.
But I think that my personal perspective is that I think this situation with DC going its own way and other distributors stepping up to add some competition, I think competition there's nothing more American than competition, and monopolies are not the way we do things in America. So I think ultimately it's going to be good for the industry to have some competition out there. But I agree with a lot of my peers and colleagues that there is going to be a very rough adjustment period, because unfortunately there are going to be some stores out there that are not prepared. That another common trait among comic book people is we don't like change. We appreciate our routines. We get into our patterns. This is what we do. This is the way we do it. And if you ask us to deviate from that, it kind of throws our world out of whack. And comic book shop owners are the same way. Many have been doing this the same way for 25 years, and they don't want to change. So when DC announced that it was going to be distributing through UCS and Lunar way back in March, a lot of the shop owners said, this will pass. And they didn't bother to set up. They didn't bother to set up the accounts.
But we did.
We did. At Nirvana, I received the email from DC Comics at about 3 a.m. I don't sleep.
Clearly.
I got the email at 3 a.m. I was sending an email to Lunar Distribution. I was sending an email to them by 3:30 a.m. And they sent me the link to set up my account. We were literally one of the first comic book stores to set up an account with Lunar, because I did it within 7 hours of DC making the announcement. And so we began building those relationships immediately, because I appreciate everything Diamond's done. I have a very strong business relationship with Diamond. I have great representatives over there that I deal with every single week. They're good people, but From a business perspective, my job is not to support Diamond. My job is not to support Lunar. My job is not to support DC or Marvel or anyone. As a comic book retailer, my job is to sell comic books. And if that means I have to set up 10 different accounts with 10 different distributors, that's my job. And I'll do that, and I'll build those relationships. At Nirvana Comics, we will not experience any major delays or disruptions in our supply chain. That is my job to make sure that happens. Would I have handled it a different way than DC did? Probably, but I'm also not privy to all the information that the executives at DC are.
My guess is this has been coming for a long time.
I think so.
The fact that DC wasn't in the newest previews and there was no previews coming out and they're only digital, my guess is that should have been the indication. And we talked about this.
Yeah.
That should, like, there's something's going on.
People should have taken note. And a couple years ago, when DC's contract came up with Diamond and they got to renegotiate, and they refused to say that to guarantee that Diamond would have exclusive rights to DC. When they removed that clause from their last contract negotiation years ago, that's when people should have started. That's really, looking back, that's really the first sign that something is not healthy in this relationship, and if it's not handled properly, it could end up in divorce. And ultimately, that's where we are now.
I'll say, as someone who unpacks these books, we did start getting Lunar immediately. They came early. The packages were boxed the most professionally I've ever seen.
They
in my
really
life.
are.
They were bubble wrapped and then double wrapped. Not a single damaged product and not a single missing product.
Yeah.
This Lunar did a fantastic job these first few times. They've been good. So
to be fair, their packaging is spectacular. We have had some issues that you're not privy to because you don't deal with the paperwork and billing.
The billing stuff, yeah.
They've double billed us for a couple things. So we've had that issue. Certain products they included on 3 consecutive invoices.
Yikes.
But they have good customer service. We've been able to work that out, so that's been very positive. I'm going to be interested to see if Lunar is able to scale what they do to meet the demand of every comic book store in America. Because now, if you want to sell DC Comics, you have to go, if you're on the East Coast, you have to go to Lunar. If you're on the West Coast, you have to go to UCS. You have no choice. If you want to sell Batman, that's where you got to go. And so I hope that Lunar and UCF, well, I don't deal with UCS, so I don't care. But I'm hoping that Lunar is able to scale their operations, because it's going to get exponentially more difficult for them to do their job.
There were shops that weren't ordering anything because they didn't have the ability to get the books to their customers. And so they said, I don't have to do this right now.
Right.
When we open back up, I'm going to worry about it. And then I'll try to track down those things. Oh, wait, Diamond has said they're going to have those.
Because something like 60% of all comic book shops in the country closed down for at least 2 weeks between March and May.
Yeah.
And
some still aren't reopened.
Some still aren't reopened. So, and then there are a lot of shops who just didn't bother to set up, even the ones that were open, didn't bother to set up accounts with Lunar or UCS. Those 2 distributors are about to get very, very busy. So I would just, anybody out there, expect some minor problems distribution wise. I would say if they get through this with no problems, then Diamond's done in 5 years, because everybody will go to them.
Then what does that say exactly? If they're that good and that quickly and they've got that infrastructure, what does that say about Diamond? Who has multiple distribution centers throughout the country?
But we're going to see, and you guys probably remember these days back when when Diamond, this is before Diamond was a monopoly. Like, I barely remember it. I was young when it was happening, but comic book shop owners had the opportunity to order from a lot of different distributors.
Yeah, there were 4 big distributors.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a return to that, because you have Lunar, you have UCS. I keep wanting to call them DCS for some reason. You have UCS, and you got Corner Box. You've got there's some other rivals out there.
Yeah, it's Corner Box, because I know Corner Box is distributing your book, Cult of Dracula.
Yep.
Are they distributing all books?
Yeah,
or?
right. They're kind of a distributor for the indie publishing industry, because they allow. Diamond has been very iron-fisted with the way they handle submissions, and the way they handle the pricing, which is why indie books through Diamond have not been profitable, which is why a lot of comic book shops don't carry indie books.
Right.
Because Diamond usually will only offer you a 35% discount as a retailer.
Right.
Whereas you can get, we're at a very high discount tier here at Nirvana. For Marvel, DC, Image, the big boys, we're at their second highest discount tier. So we can, it's infinitely more profitable for us to go and buy a Marvel book or a DC book than it is to buy a Source Point Press book or a Blaze or a Hoy. Now we do it anyway because our customers want it, even though we make less money per book. Doesn't matter. But a lot of shops don't. So these newer newer distributors like Cornerbox, where they're able to appeal to small press publishers, is they allow the small press publisher to be more aggressive with their pricing. Like again, Second Sight can offer a base 50 to every retailer out there, which is insane for a small press book. That's 15% more profit just for ordering it through Cornerbox versus ordering it through Diamond. Cornerbox will also allow publishers to offer incentive deep discounts. Marvel made this popular a few years ago. Started doing it. They still do. Like if you order X number of books, you get you get Y bonus discount. Or like Valiant did, where they said if you order the same number of copies of 1 through 5 of a series, we're going to give you an extra 15% off. Diamond kind of put the kibosh on that. Wouldn't let people do it as much, but Cornerbox allows retail publishers to do that. So the small press publishers really like going through Cornerbox because they can offer the deals that stores want and need to be more profitable, which makes it more feasible for them to carry an independent comic. So I think you're going to see a lot of I think Cornerbox, especially with Ingram backing them, I think they're going to be a challenger. I think Lunar and UCS are going to do some great things. There's some other smaller distributors out there, like DC is going to be putting its graphic novels out through Penguin. So
Penguin's been around for 40 years.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. I mean, change is the only constant in the universe. And
oh man, I would love to have the money to set up a distributor shop right now.
I know.
That would be the moneymaker.
The people who are ready, they're poised. If they handle it right, they can make a lot of money in this. And the sad truth is, some comic book shops out there are going to refuse to change, and some are going to be unable to change, and they're not going to be here in a year.
Well, like Mile High Comics right now has a sale going on all their DC product, $1 for an issue, $5 for a graphic novel, and their plan is to not carry DC going forward.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's
to punish DC. That is short-sighted, because if I have my pull list there, I mean, and I'm going to be honest, if Richard said I'm not going to carry DC anymore, I'd be like, hey man, I appreciate being your customer, but a third of my pull list will not be in your shop. I got to go somewhere else.
Why cut your legs out? It doesn't make sense.
Cut off your nose to spite your face.
But what this is going to do to the secondary market is is going to explode, because the smart retailers like Richard are going to buy extra DC product, knowing full well there's some places in town or next town over or whatever that aren't going to carry DC. Like, oh, how dare they? That doesn't make any sense to me.
And what you're going to see with all of this is the difference between business owners and hobbyists.
Yeah.
Because hobbyists have loyalty to Diamond or to DC or to Marvel. Business people, they don't care. They just want to sell good product to good customers and make money, because that's our job. Here at Nirvana, the way we do things, we make the right recommendations to the customer based on what they tell us they want to read. We do not, and when we bring a new staff member in, we absolutely train them. Don't force a customer to buy something because you love it. Don't sell them something that you want to read. Sell them what they want to read. And so if they want to read DC, and a third of the comic book readership out there wants to read DC Comics, we're going to adapt, and we're going to make we're going to make the relationships with the new distributors to be able to carry Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and Batgirl and Justice League. I mean, we're not going to, I'm not going to throw a temper tantrum and say I'm not going to carry DC books because you didn't talk to me before you asked some other girl to the prom. I mean, I'm sorry. This isn't high school. This is a business. This is how we feed our families. We keep roofs over our heads. We pay our employees. And, put the tantrum in timeout and do business.
Guys, if you ever needed a reason to switch to Nirvana Comics, I mean, genuinely,
honestly,
I've said this to Richard. I always laugh when I say it. You are the dude I need you to be. Love Richard to death. He's my friend. But at the same time, he's going to have a comic book business when some of the other stores in the area aren't going to be able to sustain, because he does treat it like a business and not a place for his friends to hang out and read comics or whatever. At the end of the day, he's here to make money. Him making money means my product that I want is going to be available, and he might be able to give me a good discount on top of it.
We have a good customer discount.
Absolutely, yeah.
We really do.
We treat it as a business, and the decisions that we make are business decisions. But we also, here at Nirvana, we also are very invested in building a strong community. And one of the reasons why we have the resources to do the community outreach projects that we do, to donate graphic novel libraries to public schools, to support different charities in town, to do fundraisers for women's shelters and things like that, and animal shelter. I'm a sucker for kids and animals. So, we donate a lot of money. And while we have the programs like the Ladies Night Comic Book Club and the Saturday Afternoon Kids Club, we're able to do those things because we make business decisions. And sometimes that doesn't make a certain segment of comic book collecting happy all the time because they're used to things being a certain way. But there's a reason why that hot book that you want to buy that's selling on eBay for $50, there's a reason why nobody else has it and we do. Because we make business decisions about how we sell it. And if that's not for you, that's cool. I accepted a long time ago that we can't be the right comic book shop for every single person. And some people are going to be happier going elsewhere, and that's good. That's competition. That's American. That's the way it works. But we're going to do things here at Nirvana that are smart and fair to our business, to our staff, and to our customers. Because I don't ever want to have to sit Garin down and tell him, Garin, I'm sorry, you're amazing at your job, and you are, but I can't keep you because I'm not making any money. It's my job, my one responsibility as a comic book shop owner above everything else is to make sure every single week my staff gets a paycheck. And I will do everything I can to meet that obligation, because if I don't meet that obligation because I'm throwing a temper tantrum about DC Comics splitting from Diamond, then I have failed as a business owner.
Cool. I think that is the best take on that I've heard so far. Thank you.
Yeah. So everybody, we're going to continue to monitor this on Printed Panel Podcast, because I have a feeling this is not done.
No.
Let's be honest. I think
you're right.
Yeah, there's more coming.
Marvel's got Disney money behind him, and people keep saying they've been awfully quiet through all of this.
They have been dead silent.
I don't think you're quiet because you're going to stay where you are. I think you're quiet because you're making your own plans.
So,
and
the biggest rumor we have that's been out there so far is that Marvel is planning on buying Jeppy out, trying to buy Diamond Comics. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
DC used to have that option in their contract.
Yep.
And it was negotiated out for a reason.
So it should be interesting to see what happens going forward. But thanks so much for everybody. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get back to Richard at some point again really soon. So we have interviews and that kind of thing. But we'll catch up on the industry news, because it's nice to have an actual business owner to talk to about these things.
NirvanaComics.com. Find him on Facebook on Nirvana Comics.
# Let's Talk Comics.
Even Let's Talk Comics. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening and watching. We appreciate you.
Love you. Bye.